Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today, I know, shocking, I'm showing off a replay with my HIV. I love my HIV, it's been by far my most favorite, but the reason why I'm showing this off is here in a couple days, actually no, I believe it's starting Wednesday, so tomorrow for you guys, Clan Wars is beginning again, and that means Wargaming really hasn't changed their ways, and we're doing tier 10 once again. So that means I need to get back into the fact of playing my HIV. I haven't actually touched my HIV, I think, since last Clan Wars. So it's been a little while since I've actually played this ship. I think this was actually my first battle with her. Now I am running the legendary module for the HIV, which gives you additional range, slight decrease to your reload rate, but it does nerf your concealment. The concealment of the HIV at this time is 15.5 kilometers. So yes, definitely not a module I would be running in a competition, but in randoms such as this, it works just fine. Now I am playing with Dread in the gearing. We are playing on Northern Light and mostly a tier 10 battle. I am the only fast cruiser, and this is the thing about the HIV, is it's a long range support cruiser. It requires, and say with me, it requires being at range and firing and slinging HE. The only major thing that the HIV has going for it is the fact that it does have that reload module, and any cruiser silly enough to show you a lot of broadside will be quite heavily punished because the AP on the HIV is pretty darn good, even if it is at an extended range. So starting off, this is going to be very standard HIV play. Even in competitive matches, you want to be almost at a position where you can sail away, because the HIV is very good at one thing, and that is running away. She is the fastest cruiser in the game, one of the fastest ships in the game as far as the main branches, and you can see I'm a little bit rusty firing at long range. So normally whenever you play the HIV, or better yet the St. Louis and even the Charles Martel, you kind of want this positioning where you can move away from targets. The HIV is going to struggle a little bit when battling at closer range and pushing forward. Not saying that she can't do it, but this is her ideal position, being able to fire at long range and just sling HE down range. Got to fire on that Montana, so he's hopefully going to burn for a little while. And even a Conqueror should be weary of an HIV, as there is a Conqueror on the enemy team, and we will be seeing plenty of him there. Now we do have a Cleveland who I think may have been off a bit more than he can shoot. Now Conqueror is going to be definitely a ship more difficult for an HIV to deal with, because unlike Montana, a Yamato, a Kurfürst, it has that really fantastic heal, and for the most part it really negates any possibility of doing significant and devastating damage against a battleship. Now this Cleveland, as we can see right now, is definitely starting to go going to go bye-bye very quickly. Now this is also one other tactic, is essentially just reversing. This is what the HIV is really good for, so you do want to use that whenever possible. Now even at range, your AP against battleships is pretty devastating, so you can definitely use your AP and do pretty sizable amount of damage, especially against a Conqueror. You could do pretty darn good damage that's maybe a little bit more difficult for it to repair. Now Conqueror is going to, of course, hit the new heal button. Now at the moment our teams are actually fairly even. They have lost their Montana. That Montana actually went down to our friendly Shimakaze. We actually did focus him down, but this Conqueror is so low in health, he's actually going to start retreating. And this Shimakaze on our team actually does a really good job. He actually keeps the enemy team spotted. He keeps his Conqueror spotted for such a long while that even though he's able to pull away, he's still getting hit on by both myself and a friendly battleship. Now Chapayev is starting to push forward, and Chapayev more than likely does have the radar module, so that is probably a ship we do need to focus. Now we have attracted the attention of a ship. Don't know what it is. Now there is a Rish. Not too terribly scared of the Richelieu. And lo and behold, there is in fact a gearing. And unfortunately for Dread is trying to cap C. He's been trying to cap C for a little while. It's been having issues with a DM who has been sitting around that southern island in between C and D on the south side. And once again, don't show a lot of broadside to an HIV, because with the reload module, the HIV can pump out shells almost every 5 seconds. And at this range, yes, granted it is a Chapayev, at this range it can be quite devastating. And it is so much fun to do this whenever a cruiser really decides to show you a lot of broadside. You can do quite a sizable chunk of damage. So do be careful. Now I do run Hydro. I think actually you got to be careful whenever dealing with Hydro. Is the HIV's AA is not particularly great, and against CVs you really want to have the defensive AA whenever possible, because you are going to struggle with midways and Hakuryus. So one last hit. Let's see, Gearing is still alive. Dread is currently very low in health. Do pop Hydro, trying to get that hit on that Gearing. There he is, well within secondary range. Let's see if we can actually get close quarter expert. That would be nice. But this Gearing is going to go down to the main guns. We managed to at least save our friend. He is actually very low in health. Look at that, 67 points of health. Very lucky he did not actually go down. And once again, we are bringing our attention towards the enemy ships still further south. Now the enemy team have actually managed to capture both. Well, better yet, they've managed to capture D. They've actually owned D since the beginning of the match. But once again, HIV, it's one of the best as far as getting those fires started. If compared to the mainline, it is the best. But since Zhao does have an additional turret, it will get a little bit more fires than the HIV will. Now I do run IFHE on the HIV captain. Now this is more in fact due to the Moskva. The Moskva, the Stalingrad, and even the Kronstadt can be extremely annoying whenever it's bow on. And with the IFHE, you're able to actually penetrate the armor of the Stalingrad and the Moskva, being able to actually deal damage. And that's kind of what you need, because even though the fire chance is slightly reduced, you still have a really good fire chance on this ship. Now I did slow up there because the Richelieu is unfortunately kind of off to our left, and you really got to be careful, because just like every other cruiser, the HIV has a fairly big citadel, so you really got to be careful not showing a lot of broadside. Granted, she does have spaced armor, which does mean that there are in fact 2 checks whenever a AP shell is going through the armor of the HIV. So more than likely, well, not more than likely, but you have a greater chance of a ricochet. So that's the benefit of that spaced armor. But you still got to be really careful, because you can be very easily citadeled, so you do have to keep in mind of where the other ships are. The enemy team isn't doing so hot at the moment. They're actually currently down 4 ships, down about 200 points, and they're currently losing the B cap, which is the second to last cap that they actually currently have. So if they do lose D, that's going to put them in quite a bit of a strong or terrible position. And that Conqueror is still being a annoyance, is starting to burn down our Leon. So we're going to try to focus him down as much as possible. Now once again, the legendary upgrade is extremely beneficial in randoms, because the range on the guns is 20.6 kilometers. And these shells hit pretty darn hard, and does require a little bit of skill to ensure they land where you want them to. Getting another fire on that Conqueror, and this is kind of the issue with the Conqueror. Yeah, it has that amazing heal, but if you can focus it, it will go down. And there we go, another fire on that Conqueror, showing a lot of broadside. Too much broadside gets a believe at least some decent penetration, maybe even a citadel, because yes, the Conqueror actually got a citadel. You can actually citadel it now. And just doing my very best. This is kind of what generally HIV. Now let's actually talk about the upcoming clan wars, because I did make mention of it earlier in the match, and I'm kind of disappointed because I'm kind of sick of tier 10. We've done tier 10 in every clan wars. It's been in almost every ranked season. I want to say almost. It's been in the later ranked seasons. So we've had a lot of tier 10. And it gets aggravating. Yes, granted, at tier 10 for the most part, it is decently balanced. I will have to say there's probably a few ships that I think are a little bit strong, i.e. maybe the Stalingrad, the Haragumo against other DDs. The Yang is no longer as good as it used to be. Got a nerf on its reload on its main guns as well as its torpedoes. And there we go, finally got the Conqueror, earned Arsonist, and sitting quite nicely at 172,000 points of damage, almost 173, and still a lot of damage on the table. This is once again kind of what the HIV is very good at. Got to be careful because don't want to push too far forward. That is a Missouri, and just witness the Iowa going down. Let's see if we can get a little bit more damage. That is always nice. It looks like he's actually starting to reverse, doing this whole standard reverse gameplay that you see with US and battleships. So clan wars, just not particularly happy, and very nice salvo from the NC does take out the enemy North Carolina. All that's left on the enemy team is, I believe, 2 Des Moines, a battleship. I'm trying to remember. I believe a Neptune is currently hiding in that smoke cloud. Yes, it is. So not a lot of left as far as damage goes. Neptune gets obliterated by the Missouri. And gonna try to focus down these Des Moines. Do switch over to AP because once again, the AP is very fantastic as far as dealing a lot of damage, especially against Des Moines. So with clan wars, I keep kind of going off on tangents. They're actually fixing the ranking system as far as how the matchmaking goes, to where it's going to be a little bit easier for you to push up through the ranks, because I noticed last season it was a lot more difficult than it was originally, to where you had more of a difficult time actually pushing up. And it seems like, and I'm hopefully expecting them to actually follow through with this. Hopefully that will give players and clans a better chance actually pushing up through ranked. And once again, there we go, finally using our reload modules. Look at all this broadside, a lot of broadside there, too much for that DM. Earn high caliber, that is triple citadels. And let's see if we can get another kill on this DM. Looks like he's starting to pull away. Can we finish him off? Not quite. Do get a citadel, do earn Confederate. Would be nice to get a Kraken, but I don't think that's going to come to pass because that is the end of this match. So our team earned a victory, brought home 310,635, earned Arsonist, Confederate, and High Caliber, did 207,031 points of damage, 7 citadels, 3 kills, 8 fires, top of the team with a base XP of 2,406. Most of our damage came from that Conqueror. As you can see, we did 104,895 points of damage against that Conqueror alone. Fires did a whopping 50,370, HE shells did 109,201, and our AP did around 4,460. So, fairly good match with the HIV. I really do enjoy my French cruisers. I've probably found my niche, honestly. But anyways, this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Saichen.